Greetings, Earthlings! Welcome to Reptile in the Living Room. Welcome. Welcome. Isn't this cute? Wait, here we go. All right. I know, I love it too. My friends Herman and Angie gave that to me as well. They spoil me. I really love them. They're awesome. They're awesome people who have a lot to share. They're really cool people. And today you may notice that I'm wearing this cool shirt too. Just had to wipe my nose again. It just itches. I have terrible hay fever, but I've mentioned that before, right? Anyway, this shirt was given to me by one of my adorable nieces. And so I'm wearing them today to delve into the topic of what we call extraterrestrials. Some people call them aliens, but they're really foreign, I guess. It's another word for foreign, but we can probably be a little more flattering to them, like galactic family. I do want to go over one more time why I call this show Reptile in the Living Room. Clearly, I'm not in the living room. I was in the living room for my first episode, but it's been really nice out here, and so I am enjoying the sunshine. I don't want to be cooped up in the house if I can be outdoors, so I'm outdoors. Yeah, in recovery, like from addictions and crap like that, there's a saying called elephant in the living room. And that just means, if you don't know what it means, you probably already do, but for those who don't, it just means there's something giant that we're not talking about. There's this huge issue that everybody is avoiding, a giant elephant in the living room. We're just kind of walking around it, not really talking about it. But this time it's a reptile. It's a reptile in the living room people aren't talking about. I've really come to the conclusion, these are my own personal views and observations based on my own experience and things I've learned from other people and have read, that we have a problem with these beings on our planet that have been around since time immemorial, since the beginning of time, maybe not the beginning of time, but very close to the beginning of time on planet Earth. They've been here for at least hundreds of thousands of years. Being the bullies on the block, man. Enslaving humanity. And it's not okay. And so I'm talking about them today. They are mentioned in most ancient sacred texts, including Old Testament, New Testament. There's statues of them all over the world. Reptiles, snakes, they're just everywhere. And I really think that they are the root of the problem on this planet, while they may be a reflection of some of our ickiness inside that certainly needs to be dealt with. I think on the whole, most people are really good, and I believe that we're being used as a food source for them, among other things. And you know what? I don't want to be anybody's meal. Thank you very much. So, talking about here today. So today's topic is going to be about extraterrestrials. It's going to be about what Stephen Bassett has called the truth embargo. I believe he's the one who came up with that saying. He's the first person I heard use that term, so I will accredit him with that. Stephen Bassett, big mover and shaker in Washington, D.C., as far as I can recall, and seems to have dedicated his life to getting the truth out. I believe that's what he has said, and I have appreciated much of what he has brought to the table, including the term truth embargo. Now, the first time I think I saw Stephen Bassett was on the original Disclosure Project, which was an incredible documentary that was done by a fellow by the name of Dr. Stephen Greer, who brought this information out to us around 2000, 2001, and had probably at least like 20 whistleblowers from the government and military that had interacted with an intelligence other than ours. And it was very, very interesting. Very interesting. There were people that said that they had seen nuclear warheads shut down. They would see craft appear above the nuclear warheads and disable them. There were people that said that they had seen craft. And I think at that one, there was one that said he actually interacted with the extraterrestrial beings, that was his job. Just from that standpoint alone, my heavens, could you imagine how weird that would be to see somebody that didn't look like us from somewhere else in our solar system or galaxy or universe. I don't know. You can think about how weird it would be going to another country and not knowing somebody's language or customs and just kind of getting dropped off there with no help. It'd be a little weird, right? Not to say that these beings, don't know how to converse with us, that maybe they are more intellectually advanced than us in some ways, that maybe they know how to communicate with us or understand what we're saying, but that's just a guess. Who knows? I would think that would be incredibly confusing for both parties. Like, hey man, I'm not from here, I don't speak your language, and somebody from Earth looking at these people going, I wonder what they mean. Are they here to hurt? Are they here to help? These are all things we need to talk about and figure out. And I am pretty sure, not certain, that there are lots of agencies, particularly in the United States of America, that know a lot of these answers. They just aren't coughing up the truth for some reason or another. So yeah, the Disclosure Project was really interesting. I'll definitely post a link to it. There was a follow-up on it that was also very, very interesting as well. And yeah, pretty nice that some governmental folks said that there were craft that they could not identify that were defying things that we're capable of on Earth. We're talking physics. We don't have that technology, and they were witnessing them shut down nuclear warheads. I like that a lot. I remember back in grammar school, I think it was 5th grade, learning about nuclear power from a really cool teacher. I loved her dearly. I'm thinking about her right now and hoping that wherever she is, I know she's not alive anymore, but realizes what an incredible being she was in my life, an incredible influence. She used to read us Laura Ingalls Wilder, Little House on the Prairie books every day after we got back from lunch. I thought that was one of the most nurturing things any teacher could ever do. It was incredible, and I will never forget her for that. And also talking to us about the hazards of nuclear power. And she told us back then that we had this nuclear power that was now on the rise, and that there was nothing we could do to safely dispose of the spent nuclear rods. And I remember thinking, okay, why are we using it then? If these spent nuclear rods cannot be disposed of in a safe fashion, and they will be, causing deadly irradiation for all eternity, maybe it's not going to hurt us where we've got them stored away now, but it's going to hurt somebody in the future, that we are so irresponsible to use technology that is harmful. Good thing we've got people from other civilizations coming to shut those down. I'm just saying. It's pretty crazy. We need to think. We need to make sure that we have people running this world that aren't complete and total nut job psychopaths. Yeah. Okay, so today's tea, it's a mint with some vanilla in it, but it's not like organic or anything. I caved, man. I caved. I'm not a caveman, but I caved. I caved in. It's really delicious tea, and I'll probably buy it again, even if it has weirdness in it. It's pretty delicious. Right. Disclosure Project was very interesting. Brought a lot of stuff out on the table for discussion. There's no doubt about that. We have to move forward carefully. We have to move forward. We must move forward. We can no longer be the little children of Earth. Santa Claus doesn't exist. Easter Bunny doesn't exist. Tooth Fairy doesn't exist. Extraterrestrials, they exist. We had Roswell. Roswell was the real deal. A spaceship crashed. The newspapers covered it. There were pictures of it on the front page. Were there pictures of it? No. It was the headline. I don't know if there were pictures. People saw it. In fact, the fellow who found it on his property said he wished he'd never even said anything. I believe that's what he said, indeed, because all the crap to follow. The next day, the newspapers retracted the story, and they said, oh, no, not a spaceship. No, wasn't that at all. It was a weather balloon. All right, oh, I could see how they can confuse a spaceship with a weather balloon, right? And then, if that wasn't enough, somebody came along not too long after that and said it was swamp gas. I believe they said that one was swamp gas. If not, they said another one was swamp gas, but I'm pretty sure it was Roswell. Right, swamp. I don't know what swamp gas looks like. I should probably look it up on the internet. Chances are it doesn't look like a spaceship. If I go out to my driveway and look at my car, take a picture of my car, and somebody comes up to me and says, oh, no, the next day, no, not a car, weather balloon, swamp gas, I might have to walk them down to the local hospital and say, this person right near his needs a little help. Maybe it's just glasses that they need. Could be more. Could be more indeed. They've been hiding the extraterrestrial phenomenon from us for a long time. And I'll tell you, even, it shows up in like old artwork, like beautiful museum pieces, like paintings, gorgeous paintings. You'll see like a picture of a spaceship up in the corner. I think one of those was related to the Virgin Mary, a picture of the Virgin Mary, I'm pretty sure. Which brings me to Jesus. I always thought that story was a little funny. I mean, he was a great guy. What he taught us, incredible. If we could just embrace that and become that message, we won't have any problems on this planet. We just won't. But yeah, the Immaculate Conception, yeah, nobody else has been able to push that one through, have they? The more you learn about the hybridization program that allegedly has been going on with the other races taking our DNA and creating other beings to seed other planets and maybe things of a nefarious nature, the Immaculate Conception could become a slightly different story. I'm not saying the Immaculate Conception didn't happen. I just like to ask questions. That's how I work. I ask a lot of questions, take in a lot of information, make some decisions based on that, which are always subject to change. Once again, did I mention these are just my ideas? These are my thoughts. I'm just opening up the conversation for us all to talk about what's happening here on this planet. I like you guys. You're smart too. Let's talk about stuff. Let's stop ignoring the reptile in the living room, and the elephant for that matter. The Star of David. Was it a star? Was it a spaceship? Could have been a spaceship dropping off a little brilliant avatar onto our planet. Just saying. Possibility. In no way does this degrade who he was. You know that, right? I'm not always sure about the writers of our history, whether they're in a Bible or other books. Got to question everything. Yeah, maybe it was a star. Maybe it was a star that arrived to alert the world. A star which is a sentient being, just like our planet is a sentient being, just like our beautiful soul up in the sky is a sentient being. Maybe it was a star appearing to go, hey, you guys, here comes this incredible being that's going to teach y'all how to get along. Why don't you listen? We could still adhere to that message and change things around in an instant if we did. Eric von Däniken, he wrote the book Chariots of the Gods. It was like the #1 selling book, or it might even still be, like, of all time. Which should tell you something right there. Few people are interested in this topic. And if you're laughing at it, it's because people have programmed you to laugh at it. And it's funny to think about things and laugh at people who are talking about things that aren't on the mainstream news, aren't in a history book, or, question whatever program you're following, because we're all programmed. I talked about that in another video. We're all programmed. You see me looking around a lot. Other than me thinking, I'm usually thinking in this direction. I don't know why I have to think over there, but I'm usually looking at just the wildlife around here. They catch my attention and they're beautiful. Yeah, what was I talking about? Lost my train of thought again. Didn't fall off the tracks completely. I'll find it again. Yeah, laughing at people. It really is fear when you get down to it in many cases. I don't believe what you're saying. It questions my belief system, and I've been programmed to laugh at you in response to cover up my fear, so now I'm going to laugh at you. You know, I think one of the most respectful things we can do to another human being is listen to what they have to share with us. Especially if it's like a personal experience. My goodness, to judge somebody based on that. And, and granted, I mean, really, deep down inside, some of these things just aren't our faults. And there is an awakening going on right now. And hopefully people will wake up even a little bit more from listening to this. But it's important to listen to one another, especially the loved ones in our lives who are not there by accident. I can assure you, nobody in our lives show up by accident. To listen to them and at least give a little credence to what they have to say. And don't laugh at them or push them away. You can just listen to what they have to say. It's not going to kill you, right? You don't have to agree with them, but you can listen respectfully. Some of us have a lot of patience with others in our lives. A lot. Just zip our lips with time. We don't want to tell you anything else because you ain't listening. You over there judging, and that's not okay. Damn it. Anyway, we'll all grow up. I'm growing up too. I got a lot of work to do. Believe me. A lot. So we had Roswell. All right. So that was one indication that maybe something's a little bit off in this world, right? And there had been stories. I mean, if you look at, there's newspaper clippings, even just from all over our country, from like newspapers' inception, about lights in the sky that didn't make any sense. And of course, back then, there weren't even airplanes, right? We're not talking meteors. We're talking lights doing weird things in the sky. They were visiting back then. They're visiting now. They've always been visiting. And this topic gets very, very broad. I'm not going to go into it, but we are in relation to these other beings. Some of these races are very technologically advanced, but not very spiritually advanced. Some are very spiritually advanced, but not very technologically advanced. Some are both. I'm sure some are neither. Some are probably incredibly primitive. More primitive than we are. We're pretty primitive. Some good people on this planet, but we really do have, we have a lot of growing up to do. We have a lot of growing to do. But that's good news. It's good news because we are going to be advancing. We're in the process of advancing, and the more we push disclosure through, a full disclosure, which hopefully I'll get into later, the more quickly we will advance. Maybe we could even be spiritually evolved enough to use our technological advances in a responsible way. I think that'd be awesome. I really do. I think there's a lot of benefit in technology, and unfortunately, it's being used to harm rather than help. And if for nothing else, to hinder. And I don't like that either. So, one of the other really famous cases of extraterrestrial interaction on this planet, besides things like the Phoenix Lights, I could really go on and on about this stuff. Did you know about the Phoenix Lights? I think that was in the 80s or 90s. And, just tens of thousands of people saw this flotilla of lights above Arizona. I don't know. Were they our lights? That's another question you have to ask. Was it our craft? Because we have advanced technology that, the powers that are holding back on us. Or was it somebody else's? Was it another race? I don't even like that word, race. It's another word we need to get into, race. The human race. Are we competing? Oh boy, we're competing. Another topic. Trust me on that one. I don't want to be in competition with anybody. I want to be in collaboration. That's my dream. Phoenix Lights was so intense, and so many people saw it, and there were so many calls to 911, and so many of the witnesses were law enforcement that they had to deal with it. All right? So the governor of the state, I think it was the governor, Fife Symington, I believe that was his name, got on TV. And instead of really addressing it like it was a real issue and, you know, what people see in life matters, this guy's an elected official. He gets on stage and he brings like somebody dressed in an ET costume right next to him to make fun of it, right? Since then, he's apologized for it, which is the right thing to do. But I mean, come on. Come on. We have to think about who rules. Yeah, they pretty much are ruling at this point. Who runs this country? Who runs this world? Who are electing to represent us? They are our representatives. You know what? They ain't representing me. Big fat liars and people that make fun of people telling the truth are not representing me, and they're probably not representing you either. Things we need to think about. So, I'll just keep going on with some interesting cases. The friendship case out of Italy. Very interesting indeed. Now, this was back, let's see, in the 70s or 80s. Okay? And so it wasn't just one person that saw an extraterrestrial. It was an entire community. There were all kinds of people that were interacting with a group of extraterrestrials. These ETs apparently were all different sizes. There's a picture of one of them floating around on the internet. I'll try and find a picture of that and put it up too, if I can find it. Really tall one. Super handsome too, by the way. Wouldn't mind opening up the dating pool a little bit in that regard. Yeah, some were super tall, some were really short, and they all ate, I think they ate fruit mainly. So these people had to procure food for them, and they would bring truckloads of stuff to these people. And this interaction went for quite some time. God, it's just a great case. Just great, a great story. Sorry, I'm thinking about something else where maybe an attempt for extraterrestrials to actually start integrating with us just got scrapped. Story that I heard. But I'll let that one go for now. Not enough information. I would love to hear that one was true, and I would love to bring that one up on the table for discussion. So other countries talk about these things a lot more than we do. In our country, everybody thinks we're the land of the free. Welcome to China Junior. Sorry, man. Oh gosh, just the amount of censorship on the internet, especially as of late. Holy crap, insane. The media, hilarious. Mainstream media, hilarious. Freedom? Oh, I think not. Mexico. You know, they talk about this stuff all the time. They had a reporter, I don't think he's currently a reporter, although he may be. His name is Jaime Maussan. And he just brought this stuff out on the mainstream news, talking about it all the time. In fact, one of the fellows on the Disclosure Project, Stephen Greer's Disclosure Project, one of the whistleblowers was an air traffic controller from Mexico saying what he saw, okay? Saying what he saw. Now, you got to think about this, especially for all the people that still are inclined to laugh about this. Laughing, which is a program. It's a program to laugh at things like this because they don't want you talking about it. You know? And then if we just laugh at it, it's a great way to cover our fear. I don't want to hear about this. You know? This contradicts my belief system and what I've been raised with. Education, mainstream news, religion, whatever. I don't want to talk. I'm afraid to talk about it. So we'll laugh. We'll just say, that's a great defense mechanism. I use laughter to diffuse a lot of crappy situations in my life. But you know what? Laughing at somebody you love, trying to tell you something, that's not cool at all. That's not. And a lot of us have a lot of patience with you. It hurts to be pushed away. And at some point in time, we just go, not telling you anything else, man. I'd love to share things with you, but, you know, I have enough self-respect not to be laughed at. So, whatever. What else was I going to talk about? Yeah, interesting stuff. Roswell, that shows us that we've had interactions here on our planet. Think about Richard C. Hoagland's book, The Monuments of Mars, and the incredible work he's got out there. Lots of stuff you could find his talks on the internet. Showing us pyramids on Mars, showing us the face on Mars, which is almost a mirror of the Sphinx, the great Sphinx in Egypt. It's all the stuff, if we're alone in the universe, what's going on Mars, man? What's going on Mars? I mean, we can see this stuff. There's no shortage of shows on the internet where people send in their film footage from all over the world showing all kinds of weird stuff in the sky. Not meteors, not aircraft, not satellites. Things doing, crazy movements like this. And, if we did that, the G-forces here for us would kill us. All that stuff is out there. In Mars, yeah. Crazy, crazy. Crazy stuff. There was a civilization there, and there probably still is. That's with Elon Musk. He's got all the money anybody could ever ask for, but he wants to take a whole bunch of people to Mars and never come back. Why? Is he obsessed with, a caveman lifestyle? I highly doubt that. Highly doubt it. Something's going on, kids. Edgar Mitchell, former scientist, talked a lot about that. John Lear. We had, just recently, probably within the last 2 years, there were a bunch of air traffic controllers and pilots in conversation with each other about some craft that they witnessed between Oakland, California, and Seattle. And there was a lot. There was a lot of talk about that. And then, of course, we have the whole Tic Tac footage. That's for a whole other discussion. Somebody is trying to tell us that we're not alone on this planet or in this universe. Somebody's trying to tell us. They're telling us very slowly. Have you noticed that? Get a little story, you wait months. Get another little story, you wait months. Fortunately, I'm seeing that shore up a little bit, where we're not having to wait as long. And there are a huge group of people all around the planet, gratefully, who are part of what is known as the Full Disclosure Program. Disclosure, that's telling somebody something. It should mean really telling somebody everything. But what's going on is something called a limited disclosure program, because the little children of Earth are too fragile to spill all the beans to. We can't handle it, Just a bunch of thumb-sucking little children who can't handle it. Bunch of babies, Earth babies. You know what? I'm out of the cradle, man. I ain't in the cradle anymore. I want the truth. And I want the truth for a number of reasons. But you know what? I want the truth for truth's sake alone. Because when we are floating around in a sea of lies and half-truths and information that's being withheld, we're living the lie. I put a song up here on my YouTube page that you may or may not have heard called Why Buy the Lie? Why buy the lie? Because we've been programmed to accept BS as truth. Well, I don't know. For some reason, I started really breaking out of the program more than I had been. It became more exponential. I think that happened to a lot of people on this planet. That's why we call it the Great Awakening. We are all waking up. I don't want a partial disclosure, nor do most of the awakening people on this planet. We not only want, but from those beings of you who are withholding this information from us for profit and control, we demand full disclosure. full disclosure of all hidden truths and technologies for the advancement of humankind. We have every right to be healthy, to have an abundant life full of good things for all. We have every right. I mean, you folks who are sitting on this stuff, you're living pretty good lives, right? That's not how we evolve. No, hogging things for ourselves and being selfish is not evolution. That's devolution. You're going down. You don't want to go down. You want to go up. You want to help out humanity. You want to help out this beautiful planet. You don't want to destroy it. I know. You got your bunkers underneath the ground. You think you're going to be okay. Whatever. And you're just going to keep going down. You notice where your bunkers are? They're underground. You're just going to keep going down and sinking. So, I'm a proponent for full disclosure. No more of this, a crumb here, a crumb there, a crumb here, a crumb there. They love that because it creates dissension among people too, because there's all these half-truths. So you got people arguing about all this crap. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It sounds like portions of our government are indeed interacting with extraterrestrials, people who are not from our planet. It sounds like there are some people who are ruling this world who are in bed, being ruled by, being governed, with consent or not consent, by some other beings who do not have good intentions. Some of these beings are known as reptilians. I think Draco reptilians is another term for them. We need to talk about it. We need to get real serious with the elected officials of this world and let them know how we feel. And at the same time, we need to become very aware of the unelected people who are running this world. They have no permission to do that. If our permission is our consent, I simply say, I do not consent anymore. It's so easy, isn't it? I don't consent. It's not your world. It's our world. We all have a fair share. We all have a say in what happens on this planet. It's the bottom line. I think on some level, we are being prepared to meet our galactic family. How is that going to be? How are we going to react? Maybe we can respond instead of reacting. Kind of like having a foreign exchange student over. Should we be aware of these folks? I know there's some people in this community that I like to float around in that seem to think all extraterrestrials or galactics are good. Maybe. But there's a really interesting and very famous saying, historic if you will, as above, so below. We got a mixed bag of tricks down here, people. We got Mother Teresa's, we got Ted Bundy's. All kinds of people in between. I think it's probably reflective of what's going on around us. That there are all kinds of beings. But most people are good. So I think the vast majority of beings out there are good. I think a lot of them want to help us. I think that universal law requires us to ask for assistance. I'm going to do that right now. Hey, highly evolved extraterrestrials, with all due respect. I know I'm kind of a goofball, but I'm asking you with all due respect. We need help, man. This place isn't a free fall. And it's a beautiful planet. You guys know that. There's all kinds of beautiful things all over this planet. Especially these human beings. There's a lot of really great people doing a lot of really great things. We want to evolve too. So if you are beings out there that are more advanced than us, spiritually for sure, help us. Help us. Help us to use our technology properly so that we don't harm each other. Help us to deal with this reptilian influence on our planet, which sounds like it's out there as well, harming other planets. We'd like some safety. We want some help. I'm asking. You can ask too. And of course, we can pray to our one infinite creator. Pray, 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 pray. Like there's no tomorrow. Just pray. Do we need another pandemic to wake up? I hope not. I hope not. I hope this is the tipping point. I think it is. I think it is. I am pretty encouraged by people in general. They seem to want to be waking up. They are waking up and they want to. They want to make a change. Especially those people who have children. I don't even have children, and I really care about the children. I really do. When you don't have a voice, you rely on those who do to speak up for you. Take care of those kids. Take care of their future. The truth embargo is ending. How much longer will we have to wait? Another generation? A couple more generations? A few more generations? I think the powers that were had a plan of just a ridiculous amount of time. 100 years. They want to roll out all this disclosure over 100 years. That's what I heard. You know what? Nah, not on my watch, buddies. Now, liars holding back truth, holding back technology for their benefit, for their own gain, in their own sick and dysfunctional club. It's not your world. Nope. You guys are confused. There are plenty of people on this planet that can help you end that confusion. They can help you get better. It's going to be a process because some of you are pretty sick. And you're sick. You're sick. You're sick for holding back truth and technology. You know what? But there's help. There's help for sick people. There'd be a lot more help for the sick people on this planet if you stop holding back all the cures for diseases, for profit, control. We can all work together as one healthy organism, a bunch of healthy cells and a healthy body. We can all do that together. We can ascend together, ascend to consciousness. There's hope for everybody, I believe. That's how I feel about life. The extraterrestrial phenomenon, our galactic family. I'm ready to meet them. I'm ready to move forward and meet the good ones, kind ones, the ones that are more spiritually advanced than us. I'd love to meet them, work in harmony with them, to bring Earth to a place of harmony and peace. We're not alone. We've never been alone. I think we're getting the cosmic call to integrate with our cosmic family. I think holidays are finally going to have some good meaning to them if that happens. Oh, the holidays. That's another topic in and of itself. So with that, let's walk forward with discernment, good judgment, open-mindedness, just kind of leaving our fear back there somewhere, Use enough fear so you don't get hurt, but don't let it paralyze you. Listen to other people. There's so many interesting experiencers out there. I have a really good Facebook friend who's an experiencer who I totally admire. I think he's so awesome. And maybe one of these days I'll be able to find a way to interview him. I would love to do that because I think he's got such an incredible soul. So with that, I bet some of them look like this. I bet some of them look like us. And what does it matter? All that matters is what's in here, right? Right. We are in interesting times. I'm really excited about them. And everything that has had to happen to us, personally and collectively, I believe is needed to happen. And I'm ready to roll. And I am no longer in agreement with a bunch of psychopaths ruled by some dark beings that go back as far in time as Old Testament, New Testament, other sacred texts that have been ruling this planet. I'm going to talk about them. And for those beings that are in alignment with them, stop it. Stop it. Step out, experience what a loving relationship might be like. Experience what service to others may be like. You're going to be surprised. You're going to be feeling a lot better about your life. I know that for a fact. For a fact. Okay. With that, thank you so very much for joining me for another episode of Reptile in the Living Room. I love you all very, very much. Very much. Peace.